Hello, I'm Chris. This is Gross Models, and this is an exciting episode. Look, we get to attach arms and even the head, and the whole sort of top part is almost done. So, yeah, it's getting there. This is issue 93. So, let's have a look through the magazine first. We'll delay it as much as possible just to build the anticipation. The end is nigh. It really is. It feels like it's getting towards the end of the build. So, it feels like things are finally coming together. Some of the parts that we've had from issue 1, the very first issue, the head, is now coming together and being fitted to the build that we're doing. Yeah, but obviously the magazine, the comics continue, stories and things, Doctor Doom and stuff in there. So this is what we're doing, part 4 of the Avalon, the upper body and head. We've got the front plate, which is plastic, but it's fine, it's shiny, it's nice, it does the job. We're going to be installing the panels to the bits that we've already done, and then making that on the, and that. Oh, arc reactors and things, and then finally putting the armor plate over the top of it. It's going to look like that. It's going to look like it's just had his legs cut off. But I'm excited to do it. We shall get to it very, very shortly. That's how it's going to look, obviously, in the breakdown pictures that they use. But first, we're going to look at War Machine Model 6. We're not really going to look at it because that's enough. I want to get on with the build. New Avengers Volume 3, next issue. Posture B. I think there's alternative. If you want to have him in the superhero landing pose, he needs a slightly different chest piece. But we'll get to that in a moment. First of all, let me get this out of the way. I'll bring in the parts that we're going to need. All of the things, or not all of the things. We've got legs and other bits that we haven't touched yet, but this is parts that we're going to be using now. Well, not immediately now. I shall have to clear some of it out of the way because it's just far too big. But what we're going to be doing initially is fitting to here. We're fitting some of these cover pieces that obviously cover over the screws that we put in. That one goes on that side, just like so. That one on that side, like so. Once you're sure you're not going to have to get them screws apart again, you might be able to prise these off, but it's going to be a bit tricky. So then we have the front piece, which we're putting the front piece on. It's nice. It's cool. It covers over completely everything that we've seen, but yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? So this is being held in place with a couple of screws either side. They are, what are they? EM screws. Not that, that's IM. These will be EM screws. So let's get 4 of those out, 5 of those out, and then put one back. That's the way it normally works. Go. So these will just hold that in place. So yeah, you're not going to see the internal mechanism in there, the all of this stuff. I suppose you could leave it off and modify it so it would work sort of in a different orientation, different fit, but yeah, no, I'm not 100% convinced. It's always nice that all of these part work builds have internal stuff, or vast majority of them do, and the vast majority of them you can't see it when you're finished, but you know it's there, and we know we've built it, and we've had the fun of the fun of building it all up and making it all look nice on the inside. So yeah, I'm happy to do it. Would I be happier not doing it and saving a few pounds? I mean, how many issues internal stuff that you wouldn't see once it's completed? Not loads, but it's more than a few. So yeah, maybe they should do it as an option, but then that makes it all more expensive if they're having to plan for different variations and things. So yeah, I'm happy to do it and have it as a separate thing. So then we're fitting these bits over the top just to make sure you can't get it apart. That one, that must be this side. That side that goes on there. These are just popping in with little pins that are probably going to break off if you try and take them back out again. Probably best not to do that. One in there, and that one in there. Almost there. A little bit more squishy. There we go. So it adds to the shape of the armor. That's all fine. I'm happy enough with that. Let's see. Next up, we are bringing in the other bits, the arms and the chest. So we're moving that off to one side. Using that yet, or that yet. But we are using this. And we are using some SP screws. So we've got 2 screws either side. Fairly meaty screws for holding the arms in place. Sure, it'll be okay. What's the worst that can happen? The time has come, it says, to add the upper limbs to the chest. Slot the shoulder joint of the right arm into the chest section. It'll be easier if you turn the arm joint to reveal the shoulder connection. Secure it with 2 SP screws. Check the rotational movement of the arm. So, here we have. It's obviously going onto here. The right arm I have here. Obviously going into there, and there's holes at the back. That was the magnetic bit from the front. That slots into there like that. It really adds an extra thing to it, doesn't it? So let's turn him over frontwards. It doesn't. It does pivots forwards, yeah. So we should be able to get to it fairly easily. In there, on there. Come on, like that. I think. See if this lines up through and in. It's gone somewhere. Put it in a little bit, then we'll get the other one in. Make sure that lines up as well. Gone through a thing. These tightened up, and we'll see if that works. Feeling like it's not actually tightening up into anything, but it might just be because it's quite a long screw. I don't know. I can't really tell from here. One definitely is. One I think is not quite lined up on the opposite side. So that is now. So alt it and tighten it. Won't affect the tightening of the joint at all. This is literally just holding the arm in place. Tightening of the joint is all internal, and I don't think there's anything you can do about that. So there we have that. Bit loose. I'm not overly impressed. Don't know. I might have to experiment and see about tightening something, because that's not really holding itself up very well. We'll try the other arm anyway and see what we can come up with on that. Assuming that there isn't any other option for how these are going to be. Is tapered, so you can only get it one way around. There's a thick bit and a thin bit, and it's got to be the right way round. That one is feeling a bit tighter. So maybe I have done something not quite right with the other one. Don't know. It's obviously not going to be played with for maneuvering hoses and stuff. It might just be that I'll have to pick a pose that works to its strengths. Having it posed with that arm, you know, going down into the ground rather than held out in front. Or I might spend a bit of time doing some dismantling and tidying to see if I can adjust it a little bit. See what this one feels like once I've got that tightened up. Feels tighter. So something's not quite right about the other one. Hopefully, if you're building along, We've made it tighter than I have. Can't even remember what we did with the shoulder. Was they the ones that had the friction discs things in them? Might just be a case of tightening up a couple of screws. The problem is getting into it to tighten up the screws now. Would have been nicer to be able to do this beforehand for putting everything together. So that one, yeah, that's a lot stiffer and better. Yeah, I'm happy with that side. The other one I'm less happy with, but it's okay. It'll do the job. That's what we've got there. Let's put his wrist thing back on like that. So yeah, there we have that. That's okay. It's all right. Might play around and see about getting into it to tidy it up, but we might not. You never know. So then we're fitting the abdomen up into it. This is the one that's been released by the button back there. So that just goes in there. And that is it, clipped in place. I'm quite happy with that. That's gone in there quite neatly. That's okay. Then we've got the arc reactor, which you need to get the right way around. Obviously, the button to operate it has to be underneath like that. Works by pushing the front. It's interesting. That's that. So there is the button at the back to operate that, which I'll be getting to in a moment. But before we do that, I need to put this piece on, and this is what this foam bit's for. I obviously decided that it was a little bit wobbly. So we've got to fit that into there like that, just a little bit of padding. And that is going onto the top piece, obviously, where we know it's going to be. Round. Trouble is now he's getting very large and unwieldy. That's going on there like that. It doesn't say to put the screws in there yet. Put this piece on first. Yeah, because the screws need to go through that as well. Goes on there. There's nothing that holds it underneath. That lines up over there. That lines up over the top of it. And man, it's starting to look a lot like Christmas. Yeah, that's quite nice. I like that. IM screws are what we need to hold this in place. Oh, all the way through there. Come on. Through there, and into the thing that it's not lined up with anymore. Yay. Doesn't feel like it's on a thing either. Yeah, this is going to be fun. There we go. That's that biting onto something. So let's try the other side. Hopefully that will be about the same. Yeah, that's biting onto a thing. So there we have that. Try the button on the back. Button on the back is not working. There. That is there. Oh, there we go. It was working. Oh, that's not quite. That moves, which makes the whole thing move. When it's in the right place, it works. There's nothing else that's going to hold that in place. Them screws holding that in place. Maybe the rest of it comes across and holds in place somewhere. See. But first of all, we've got the two bits from way back when, basically being screw covers for these. That's got an L on it, so that will be on the left side there. Actually, before I put that in, let's just double check. I can't get these any tighter. So I can. Okay, sorry, I lost my recording there for a moment, but they're both tightened up. That's as secure as it gets. We have an L on that one, which is obviously his left side. That will fit in there. It is not being able to get it to fit in there. Get it the right way round. Yeah, there we go. A bit like that. And this one obviously on the other side. I think I would have been happier if these were, again, magnetic or something, so you could get them apart more easily should you need to. But we work around our problems there. One more thing to do. This part of the build. Put his head on, obviously, onto the neck, onto there. Just lines up and apparently should just push in place. Like that. So yeah, again, you got him laying down, you probably can't have his head facing up, but I think in normal upright position, yeah, you'll be able to have him looking in whichever direction you so desire. So there we have it. And shoulders just need to be rearranged. But that is more than half of Ironman now built and complete. I've got batteries in his eyes. They light up. The chest bit lights up when I push the button at the back. I can find it with my fingers down there. Where is it? Lower than I think. Yeah, they're lower than I think. There we go. So yeah, that's that. Hands all light up as well. Cool. It's getting there. We just need to fit his legs to him and then he'll be done. But before we do that, next week, I think we're doing another option move for having the body tilt in a different direction. So yeah, let's turn that off because I don't need that on all the time. Would I be happier if the joints were stiffer? Yes, but he's never going to be laying down, so that's not going to be an issue. The arm may be an issue, but I'll see if I can play around with that and do anything with that. I think in most positions it's going to be fine. Just the odd position you might not be able to get him to stick into, but I'm sure it'll be all right. So that is the end of that part of the build. Thank you very much for joining me. I can't wait to get more bits assembled, so stick around for that. Turn his light out as well. Here we go. So thank you very much. Stay safe. I shall see you soon. Bye bye for now.